Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about the Vampire Diaries episode 718, titled One Way or Another, which premiered Friday, April 15, 2016 on the CW. So guys, let's get right into it. So, something new that we learned in this episode. So basically this episode was split into two storylines, First one was about saving Stefan, and the second one was dealing with Bonnie's undercover mission in that psych ward. So, in regards to Stefan, in the last episode, Damon found Stefan in time where they had 48 hours left until the human body that was hosting Stefan's soul would die. So they have to, when the episode starts, it's definitely less than 48 hours because they're making their way towards Memphis to meet up with Alaric and Valerie, who have a location on Ambrose, the vampire currently inside of Stefan's body. So David makes it there. He even compels a few paramedics to keep Stefan alive long enough so that he could get his original body back to him. So Ambrose strikes a deal with Damon, saying that he'll freely hand over the body to Damon if he gets Raina's head. They have a history together, a vendetta. Ambrose is actually the vampire who turned Raina's boyfriend into a vampire, as well as framing her for a whole bunch of murders back in the day. Apparently that deal doesn't really go that well because Enzo kidnaps Raina so that he can figure out there's an antidote behind those blood pills made from her blood. There isn't one, by the way. So because of that, Ambrose tries to go after Stefan to kill him so that there's no need for Stefan's body for them, and he can just live out his life in Stefan's body. Thankfully, Damon and Alaric intervene, knocking him out, and they take him to Valerie, who performs a Gemini swapping soul and body spell on Stefan. She struggles though because Gemini spells are meant for two witches at least. But she manages to do it. Stefan is back in his own body, but shortly afterwards Valerie breaks up with Stefan because she realized that Stefan was afraid she'd sacrifice herself for him because he didn't deserve it, because of the fact that he still has feelings for Caroline. So she breaks up with him so that she's not his second choice, and so that he can be happy and she can be happy, and not prolong this relationship that's not really going to be number one priority to the same extent she held it at for him, if that makes any sense. So moving on with that, story number 2 deals with Bonnie. So in this episode, we actually see why Bonnie's in the psych ward, and it's because she wants to get close to Virginia St. John, who is a patient inside the psych ward, and she was actually put there because of her sister Alex, and Alex is the one who is running the armory at the moment. And Bonnie learns from Virginia that the armory wants Bonnie because they have a magically sealed vault that only a Bennett could open, since they're the one who locked it. They at first went after Lucy Bennett, but she's been missing for the last 4 years. The last time she was mentioned was back in season 6 when Damon asked for her blood so that he can use it to activate the Ascendant to get Bonnie out of the prison world. So with the time jump, that's 4 years ago. So appears another thing that's coveted that a Bennett witch is involved in creating, but Virginia is afraid of that vault being opened because something truly evil is said to be inside of it. So Bonnie doesn't make the promise of not opening it, saying that if it gives her freedom, then she might open it. Virginia attacks her. She's contained by orderlies, but Bonnie got scraped in the arm because of it. So later on, when Bonnie's just packing up to get ready to leave the psych ward, Enzo, who is her ticket out, tells her that she's dying because of those suppressor pills she's been taking that have been created from Raina's blood. Suppressor pills, the blood pills I've been talking about. And just when she gets the news, Damon finally visits Bonnie with flowers. He stutters over an apology, but instead Bonnie shuts the door right in his face. Slams it shut. That's about it for that. That's about it for that. So what was the most shocking moment of the episode? The fact that Valerie broke up with Stefan. I was not expecting that after what she did to keep Stefan with her. I didn't expect it at all. I thought she'd ride it out so that she's still with him, and then hopefully have his love for her grow stronger than his love for Caroline was, but she breaks it off, so I wasn't expecting that either, since she was about ready to sacrifice herself for him and everything. So moving on to top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be Damon trying to fix everything that he broke when he made the decision to desiccate himself. I think he truly underestimated just how much his closest relationships would be affected by his absence. He was always under the impression that his absence would be better off for people because he caused so much trouble. So he figured if he took himself out of the picture, then no one would miss him, no one would have any trouble whatsoever. Not the case for Stefan, who truly missed his brother during those 3 years on the run. Not the case with Bonnie, who was truly affected by Damon desiccating himself, viewing that as a betrayal done by him. Because with his whole intention was basically he's desiccating himself, therefore he's not going to wake up until Elena wakes up, which means Bonnie would have to die. That means he desiccated himself knowing that that was the last time he was going to see Bonnie, and he didn't even give her a well-deserved goodbye either, so she felt betrayed by that. The only person who claims that they were better off without Damon was Alaric, who actually got a semblance of a normal life with Caroline and the twins. Not really sure how much of that he was telling the truth, but he definitely isn't willing to let Damon pick up where things left off with them, or to get back into the friendship that they had before he desiccated. So I like that Damon is trying, though, and that he realized what he had done wrong, or why the decision he made was wrong. And it was a selfish one, I will give him that, but at least he's learning. That's his thing. Even though Damon makes wrong decisions, the fact that he's learning from them is great to see. Next favorite moment has to be finding out why Bonnie is truly in the psych ward. And I really like the idea that it was an undercover job. I don't know. It definitely worried me when she was in the first flash forward when she talked about a death and all that. It really worried me of like why she was there. But then to find it was all just a ruse to further her cover story was just fantastic. I really liked it. I could have gone without her life now being in danger, but that was cool. Also, her undercover alias, I believe she used the name that she has in common with her book counterpart, I believe. I definitely have to research that, but I thought the name used was familiar. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the last favorite moment for me has to be that very last scene where Enzo is comforting Bonnie after giving her the news that she's going to die because of those suppressor pills, and then Damon basically walks in on that moment with his flowers. He's truly looking sorrowful and sorry and regretful and all that. And I just like that all 3 of them together. This is the episode that Damon finds out that Bonnie and Enzo are a couple. He actually sees Bonnie for the first time since he woke up after his 3 years of desiccation. So what I liked about that trio was the fact of the emotional reaction between Bonnie and Enzo. We got to see a bit more of what their relationship is like. We saw how happy Bonnie was when Enzo came to see her. She ran into his arms. He twirled her around. There was a passionate kiss between them, and then the bad news came. But it was definitely great to see just how much they value each other and the relationship they have with each other. And then Damon arriving with flowers. You can see it in his face how truly sorry he is, how he's really worried over how Bonnie's going to react to seeing him. He doesn't know what to say. So you see him being vulnerable in this sense, while also seeing Bonnie being vulnerable over the news that she had just gotten. And then the fact she's now seeing the face of the man who she feels betrayed him. And she doesn't even know what to call him. She even told Virginia that. So I just really like that scene. So I hope we see more of that trio, just to see what their current dynamic is going to be like, especially when Bonnie and Enzo are a couple in a team, when before it was Damon and Bonnie being a team against Enzo. So there's that. So top 3 peak moments. First one is that Bonnie's life is at risk to the very extreme once again. I swear this girl's life is never truly safe. She's always on the brink of death at some point in each episode or each season, which is starting to get old, and I'm feeling bad for Bonnie for sure. And last peeve moment, the fact that Alaric told Damon that he was better off without him. I don't know if he was lying or not, just to distance himself from Damon and not be pulled in by his drama that could easily backlash on him and the twins. But I can't. Did Damon Or did Alaric really not miss Damon at all? Or is he just hiding what he truly felt about Damon desiccating himself? And then just about it. So what will I remember most as I look back on this episode? The fact that we got to see many sides of Stefan. We got to see the human version of Stefan when he was in Marty's body, and then we got to see Stefan, who was actually Ambrose inside of Stefan's body, and then we got to see Stefan in the little flashback in the Philippines when he was struggling to write a letter, an apology letter to Caroline. So it was just really great to see all these different sides of him. So that was awesome. And okay, moving on. Random questions. First one: is there a chance that we'll see Heretic Bo again? This actually occurred to me after I recorded the last video's reaction. But Bo was trapped in the Phoenix Stone too before its destruction led to the release of all the vampires inside the Phoenix Stone. So could we see Bo with a different face? I'm wondering if that's a possibility. And now I'm wondering, I can't remember if Julian was stabbed with the Phoenix Sword. I hope he wasn't. But if he was, then is it possible that we'd see him again too? I'd definitely double check and write the correction on the screen right now if it's not there right now. But that's something left to wonder. Next question: what do you think is inside that armory vault that a Bennett Witch sealed up? Can't be anything good, that's for sure. I'm a little worried about that. Last question: do you think Damon overheard Enzo telling Bonnie that she is going to die because of the suppressor pills made by Reina's blood? At first, I thought Damon overheard, just by the fact that he looked more vulnerable than usual. But then he only mentioned how he only mentioned how he's been gone for so long and that he hasn't seen her, and he made no mention of it. So that has me wondering whether he didn't hear it then. But it'd be interesting to see how Damon would actually react to the news that Bonnie is actually going to die sooner than they had thought. So yeah, so moving on to predictions. Based off the promo for episode 719, Damon makes a deal with Reina Cruz that makes him and Bonnie her personal assistants. Bonnie and Clyde reference was brought up. Based off the synopsis for the episode, it looks like Bonnie and Enzo are forced to team up with Damon when Reina could hold the key to saving Bonnie's life. It also looks like Stefan goes to Dallas, and things get awkward with him and Alaric when Caroline is brought up. Also, Enzo learns why the Armory truly wants Bonnie. That could mean he finds out more about the vault, or maybe there's something else that is driving them to hunt down Bonnie. So moving on to overall predictions, I think that the Armory vault that was sealed by Bennett Witch is going to be opened to either become this season's third arc's villain, or it's going to be set up as the season 8 enemy that they're going to have to deal with. I don't know, when they say vault and something inside it is trapped, I'm thinking some type of it's definitely something mystical, and it has me thinking of the darkness back on Supernatural when it was released, and it was like this big looming force that affected a lot of people, or even when the gate to hell was opened up on Supernatural, that was pretty much a locked box that was open. So it has me thinking of that kind of scenario as well when she mentioned something being trapped inside a vault. So I'm thinking whatever's inside it could pretty much be set up as the next villain for our group. Also, with Alaric and Caroline only being engaged, I think Stefan returning is going to cause some unwanted tension between the engaged couple, and it's going to form an unwanted love triangle for sure. I definitely don't want this to happen. I want to see more of how Alaric and Caroline came to be, and it would really suck if Stefan were to come into the middle of it now, as opposed to waiting until Alaric and the twins have lived out their human lives and then pursued Caroline, since she's the only vampire, and we know Alaric doesn't want to be a vampire. He already tried that and hated it. So yeah, it's definitely wrongful timing, but that's going to cause drama for sure. And also, guys, casting news to report. In the last video, I reported that Kat Graham had announced that season 8 would be the last for her. So if the show was picked up for season 9, we would not see her in it. And apparently, I found out yesterday, so that was the 18th, April 18th, that apparently the same thing is said for Ian Somerhalder, who had announced that season 8 would be his last season. Therefore, making season 8 the last that we'll see of Damon and Bonnie as characters on The Vampire Diaries. So with that news, it definitely broke my heart to hear that. But personally, I don't see how Vampire Diaries could continue without Damon. I mean, they made it work when Elena was written off because they had the Salvatore brothers to work with. But if one brother leaves, now what? I mean, they already kind of did that with Damon desiccating, but they never showed those 3 years without Damon. They did the time jump so that we'd still have Damon back on the show. So, like, what are they going to do if Ian actually leaves, taking Damon with him? So here's my prediction for that, is that Damon gets reunited with Elena at the end of season 8, which would mean that Bonnie would have to die, sadly. But then Damon and Elena leave the group to explore the world and have their happily ever after, giving Vampire Diaries its finale with Elena's return from the sleeping curse, which then would leave Stefan to continue his adventures in New Orleans on the spin-off show The Originals, and possibly bringing Caroline with him. I definitely would love to see Stefan in New Orleans to interact with The Originals, because that crossover episode when he was there was fantastic. If you brought Caroline along, that would reignite all the Caroline fans and all the possibilities there. But yeah, plus I also read that Julie Plec was open to the fact of bringing characters from The Vampire Diaries to its spinoff if it were to ever end before the spinoff did. So if that's still up for it, that's if what I predicted happened, I'd be totally fine with that. If they left Damon open and to leave and not killed off, then that opens it up for him to return to The Originals for a visit, kind of like how Rebecca comes and goes from town before she got daggered. But anytime, if Stefan were in New Orleans and he truly wasn't in deep trouble, then Damon could come to town and help him out, and then he can go off and continue his adventures after an episode or two, kind of like what Rebecca has done for the past 2 seasons. She's done that. So as long as they keep Damon alive after Ian leaves the show, I'm completely okay with that. Bonnie, I can understand that she would have to die in order to bring Elena back, but that's how I'd see it. But what do you guys think of the casting news about that? Or I should say casting departure, or future departure. I don't know, I really don't like it when stars announce them leaving the show before they've actually filmed them leaving the show. The only great one that happened was when Claire Holt revealed after episode 116 of The Originals aired. After that one was aired, it was then released that she was not a series regular anymore, that she'd be a special guest star. That's how I liked to find out about show stars leaving the show, not before, because now you get speculations, you get predictions like I've just made like that, and you kind of already anticipate, or you kind of already you're already preparing yourself for them leaving, kind of like with Nina Dobra releasing that season 6 was her last, so Elena being put in a sleeping curse wasn't really a surprise because you knew she was already going to be leaving. So it's like stuff like that. But anyways, what did you guys think of the episode? What did you like about it? What do you think is going to happen next in the season? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it, as well as your own thoughts, theories, and predictions of what's to come in this vampire world. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want a more detailed recap of the episode, check out my live journal account. The entry for that is down below. It's more of a play-by-play of when I first watched the episode with my in-moment thoughts as you read through. Also, if you want any news, whether it's promos, sneak peeks, web clips, quotes, GIFs, anything like that, check out my Tumblr page. The links for that will be down below. One for this episode specifically, and then one for the master tag for all the Vampire Diaries tags, as well as the original tags. to that. So link for those below. I'm a little behind on those pages, but I'm going to get right to it once I'm caught up on posting these videos. And that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your patience. I hope you tune in next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel wishing you all a great day, a great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.